Yo, Kipix Guy here, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and today we have made some new friends in Nothing Projector. They have sent me out their 100-inch Black Series Ultra Short Throw ALR screen. Man, it's a mouthful. ALR meaning ambient light rejecting. Now, this is made for ultra short throws only because the technology that's built in. So not only is this a gray or black screen, but this is also an ultra short throw screen, meaning that it has blade tooth or sawtooth like technology that only reflects light coming from underneath, which is where ultra short throws project from. They project from under the screen going upwards. So any light that's hitting the surface from straight on or from above is rejected. So they sent me this one out. This is 100 inches. You can get 120 inches, I believe. This one costs about 700 US dollars. I think the 120 inches is about 900 or so US dollars, maybe a little bit more. So I have behind me an Akia screen that they sent me out maybe several months ago, and this is a ceiling rejecting screen. So only rejects light from above, but not from straight on or underneath. This one does ambient light all the way around. So they want me to compare this screen to the one I've been using because they told me from their mouths that their screen should be better than this one here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this unboxed and put it on the wall. I'm not going to go through a full build on how to set up your screen because I've done it maybe 5 or 6 times on the channel. Any other projector screen video that I've done the walkthrough on setup. It's pretty much all the same. So I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the box, get it set up, and we'll compare it to the screen behind me. Alright guys, so I have finally built the screen, and I'm going to come out and say this right now, that building this screen, putting it together, this is the easiest screen that I've ever put together. I put maybe 6 or 7 different screens from 6 or 7 different brands, and this one is by far the simplest. And the reason being is because there's a lot of L brackets and screws and stuff that you have to deal with when you're building your projector screen, but they already assemble half the work for you. You really just snap them into place and screw them on. It makes for a lot easier time. It eliminates human error, and you don't have to worry about keeping up with all these parts and pieces when you pull them out of the box. So it didn't take me long at all to do this by myself whatsoever. And they use a lot less tension springs than most other brands. So it doesn't take as long to do, and it's a lot easier to do by yourself if you don't have a pair of hands to help you. So kudos to them for making this screen super easy to assemble. Now there is one complaint that I had, and it may have been my fault, but I'm not sure. And that's actually putting on the bezel, the small little bezel that you have around the screen. They screw in through the back of the screen with some holes that they already have pre-drilled for you. They screw in with a couple screws, and I could not for the life of me get some of them to align no matter what I did. I had to really push down on the screen's trim and try to drill in a screw with the screwdriver. It was just almost impossible. It was very frustrating. Putting the frame on was the longest part of the whole process, which is shocking to me, but it may have been my fault because not all of them are hard to do, just a couple of them. So with that being said, very easy to put on. Now, first initial impressions, I'm not sure. I'm going to turn this green light off. This screen is super dark. I have a gray screen on the top. I've been using a cine screen for a year or two now. This one is really black, so I'm going to walk over here and turn off this green light for you guys. And take a look just how much darker, if you guys can tell, how much darker this screen is compared to my other one. It truly is a black screen at some angles. So you have to make sure that whenever you're putting the screen together that you have it in the right orientation, because if you have it the wrong way, you're gonna not have an image. It's gonna block all the lights. You have to have it facing the right way. And this is a very dark screen. It's gonna do incredibly well with rejecting light and do very well with contrast. So I'm excited to test that out. Now, slight disclaimer, if you do end up buying the screen, just like some other companies, the screen does have a scent. It does have a smell to it, and it can make you high. It can possibly give you a headache. It's a very strong smell to it. So you want to have your room ventilated, have a fan on, pop some windows open, because if you suffocate yourself with the smell of the screen, it will bother you very quickly. So keep that in mind. I wanted to mention that this screen does have a scent to it. If you're familiar with projector screens, this one has a bad one. So this new screen down here from Nothing Projector has a 0.6 gain, meaning that it's gonna have 40% of the brightness your projector is giving to it. It doesn't have a positive gain, meaning it's not making your projector screen brighter. It has a negative gain of 0.6. So you're gonna have to have a pretty bright projector to use this screen. Now, I'm thinking maybe 2500 lumens or better to use this screen. Otherwise, you're gonna have a pretty dark image. So my gray screen is a 0.8 gain. This is a 0.6. So I may see a small decrease in overall peak brightness, but it's okay because my Samsung LSP9T is a incredibly bright projector, so I shouldn't have any problems with this. But we'll get to see that comparison here in a moment. Now, like I said, you can get this in, I think, 100 or 120 inch screen, and you can get it in 16:9, 4:3, or a customized aspect ratio. So if you want to do a 2:35:1 or whatever, you can do a wide screen if you want to. Just contact him to get that done. So I think what we're going to do now is I'm going to put these two screens side by side and see which one overall looks better. Alright guys, so I hope you were able to see the difference between a gray screen and this Black Series screen behind me from Nothing Projector. There is a real world difference, not just in video, but in the real world there is a difference. And I'm expecting a better performance out of this because it is about $200 more or so than the Akia screen that I was using. The Akia comes in at $599, this one is just over $700, so I am expecting this one to be better, and I think that it is. Now there are some pros and cons to this screen. The only real con that I have is that because it is a more closer to black screen than gray, it does not reflect light as bright as the previous screen that I had from Akia. It's a gray screen, so it is brighter. The gray screen is brighter than this screen here. So if you're gonna pair this screen up with a projector, make sure your projector gets very bright, 2500 lumens, 3000 lumens, something that can really project some light, because this is going to dampen that light to try to help ambient light rejecting. It needs to be dark to be able to fight against your windows and your light fixtures and things like that. So I really like this screen. The contrast is a lot better on this screen than it is on the Cine screen that I was using because it's so much darker. So you may have saw that the colors pop, and well, they look like they pop because the screen is so much darker. So that contrast between light and dark is better on this screen than it was on the Cine. Not that it's bad, it's just better on this one. Now I thought that the bezels on the Akia screen was small, but these are even smaller. It is almost borderless. So you really don't have much of a frame around it just to hide the screen's edges is really all that it does. Other than that, you get a really good sized screen. I had a 103-inch screen from Akia. The 103-inch screen had thicker bezels, so the overall screen size was a lot bigger than this. This one is a lot smaller on the edges, so it's not as big of a screen overall. It's still the same size screen as far as the aspect ratio and the overall field of view on the screen. It's the same 100-inch screen, but since the bezels are smaller, the actual footprint of the screen is smaller. So it looks more like a TV than it does a projector screen, which I absolutely love. Now, even though this screen doesn't get as bright as most other screens do, I still don't have a problem with watching it in bright lights, and that's because of its ability to block ambient light. Like I said before, I had my studio lights on 100% brightness pointing directly at the screen so that you guys can see me, but there's no problem seeing the screen behind me too. So this will be a perfect screen to have in a daylight setting. If you have to watch TV or movies in the daylight, or you have lights all over your basement or living room, this right here will do an excellent job at fighting that. It's much more washed out even on a gray screen, and a white screen is almost not viewable in the daytime sometimes. So this does really well with that. If you're looking for something that's going to perform in the daylight, this is definitely the one to take note of. So in closing, overall, I absolutely love this screen, and I appreciate Nothing Projector for sending this out to me for review. Fantastic screen. I absolutely love this screen already. I noticed a difference the moment that I hung it up on the wall. Very simple and easy to put up. It does come with wall brackets, so you can hang them up not only from the top but from the bottom, so that it's nice and secure. It is a really easy project to put up. So if you're looking for a high quality, high-end projector screen to pair with your projector, this one is the one. They also have some projectors on their website. I'll leave this screen in the link below, as well as their website, so you can see some other things they offer, because they actually do have projectors themselves that you can pair with their screens. I actually hope I can get my hands on some of their ultra short throw projectors, because they have some real high quality ones that I want to see how they match up to something like a Samsung LSP9T that costs like $6,000. So they have some really cool stuff on their website. So there will be a link in the description down below to this screen, as well as their website below, so that if you want to go take on some of their products, you can see them for yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave me a comment down below and let me know, out of the two screens, which one did you think looked better. Let me know that down below in the comment section. Hit that like button and subscribe if you are not already. We will see you in the next video. K-Pace Guy out. Peace.
Say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down.